Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Sales Made Simple Workshop. This is your host, Joshua Gillow. Today, I'm going to share with you a secret that changed everything for me. It's a communication secret that I learned along the way after being, well, let's just say beat up out there in the world, trying to close more projects, trying to help more people, and realizing that my strategy was just flat out wrong. So today we're going to talk about how to get the best response when sending proposals to your clients, how to increase your effectiveness as a salesperson, and also how to increase your closing rate immediately. So the other day I was on Facebook and I noticed a thread going on in one of the hardscape groups, and the author of the post said, "Hey, stop just emailing your proposals. Get focused on actually doing more face-to-face with your clients." And that wasn't surprising. What was surprising, because it's true, but what wasn't surprising, or was surprising to me, was that there was a few guys in that thread that were like, "Hey, I don't have time to do that. I just go out, meet with the clients. I get the proposal together. I email it to them and I let it go." They're more the spray and pray strategy. And, I found that interesting because I used to do the same thing. And I found that my effectiveness as a salesperson and also my ability to close deals was significantly depreciated. Like there wasn't much there. 30% was good back in those days. So I was thinking about that. I'm like, so much has changed from the early years of being in business because, when we first started business, most of us as contractors, we focus on being really good at building things. We focus a ton of our time getting the right tools, getting the right trucks, getting the right equipment, getting the right knowledge to build stuff. But what we don't spend a lot of time on, and what I didn't spend a lot of time on, was the soft skills, the communication side, how to actually work with a client in a way that they want to be worked with so that they could say yes to you and see a higher value. You can demonstrate a higher value to them through the way through your sales process. So I want to share with you what I have learned along this process. And what I did after many years of a low closing rate is I realized there must be something else. I see others out there that are closing much higher rates, and I'm curious, how are they doing it? So I started to do some research. And what I found was back in the 1950s, a psychologist and researcher of body language, his name was Albert Moravian, he started to break this down. He started to study communication in general with people. And it's not specifically with contracting, but in general, communication. And this goes all across the map. So what he found, this is the groundbreaking study that opened up a lot of this conversation around communication, is that there's this rule, this formula that he created. It's called the 55-38-7 formula. So that probably doesn't mean anything to you guys out there, but here's what it actually means. They found that 55% of all communication is nonverbal, which means no sound. It's seen. The brain immediately looks at something, judges something, makes assumptions on things. Body language. 55% is nonverbal, and it's body language. So that means when you go into a meeting with a client, are you head down, shoulders in, low confidence? Or are you shoulders back, head high, ready to go? Are you fidgeting with things when you go into your meetings? Or is your hands by your side or on your pencil or your tablet or whatever you're working on ready to go? Is your eye contact solid? Not too creepy, but also not dodgy either, where when they look at you, you look away. This all drives down to confidence and trust. How much confidence do they have in you without you even saying a word? How much confidence do they have that you can actually bring this project to life on budget and actually be the kind of experience that they want? Because let's face it, guys, the last thing your client wants is to hire somebody that they've got to babysit, that they've got to end up taking to court, that they have to come home and be disappointed. They want to make a good decision. So this nonverbal communication, 55%, over half of the communication has happened before you've ever opened your mouth. Are you aware of how you show up? That's the question. Do you show up with those shoulders slumped and looking around, dodging your eyes because you just want to get in and build something for this client, but you don't know how to communicate it to them? If that's the case, it's okay. A lot of guys out there are struggling with the same thing. They are great builders. They're great doers. They can build you anything, but the communication side, they just never worked on. And I was the same way when I first started. I was more of the head down, kind of not very confident when I went in because I knew how to build stuff, but I didn't really know how to communicate all that well. And it was obvious. Anybody that would see me in those days, in the early days, they would have said right away, like, this guy's just not confident in and selling himself, if you will, or selling his service. But I based on what I saw on his website, he looks like he does pretty good stuff, right? So anyway, I say all of this because if you're not aware of your body language and how you're showing up at your client's door, you may be missing out on a massive opportunity to improve. And I say that because I've improved significantly over the years because I became aware of this first. Once I started to study this principle and know that over half of the sale is done before anybody's ever opened their mouth, was shocking to me. So I'm hoping that you guys listening out there right now are thinking, you know what? How do I show up? Am I shoulders back, head up? Am I coming in overconfident and almost bully-like? Or am I too soft and kind of shrinking in and just letting the client run the show? Or am I somewhere in a good middle position where you're a good guide and a leader for the client, but you're not trying to overpower them? Think about how you approach your clients. So if 55% is nonverbal and body language, only 38% is vocal. Only 38% is vocal. So what people are listening for is your tonality. Are you really intense telling them how it's going to be? Or are you really, really silent and not really sure of what you're supposed to say? Or are you somewhere in the middle, more conversational, understand how to use pauses, take space in your words, and not race to conclusions, not assume things? Are you confident in the way you speak? It's a question only you can ask and answer. And another thing, I just mentioned pauses. When you meet somebody who's confident in what they do they run their mouth constantly and constantly just tell you exactly how to do it and tell you all the features and benefits and exactly how it's supposed to work? And I'm going to do the best job for you. And my price is the best. And my pavers are the best. And my base is the best. And my plants last the longest, blah, 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 blah. Or do you think it's more effective to ask questions and pause? Hey guys, so if we did this project, how do you think you would use your space in the future? What are some things that right now you can't do that you wish you could? Pause and let them answer. They will fill in the blanks. They will fill in the silence. So which is it? Which are you? Well, there's no right or wrong here. The question really is, how much more effective do you want to be as a leader, as a guide to your clients? Do you run your mouth all the time and fill in the gap because silence is scary? Or do you embrace those pauses and give your client the baton so they can run? Because we're really supposed to be focusing on an 80-20 split. So 80% of the conversation, responses, and sound should be coming from your clients. Only 20% should be coming from you. But it's about how you deliver it. Do you deliver it with confidence? Or are you really, really quiet? Or are you really loud and obnoxious because you want to control the situation? Think about it. Now, the last 7% that rounds us out here are words only. So that's your proposals, your emails, your texts, any other correspondence you have that are words only. So this circles me back to my original conversation or my original notice there on Facebook where the one gentleman was like, I don't have time. I can only send emails. Think about it. If you are a professional, landscaper, hardscaper, or outdoor living professional, and you're just sending emails or texts or just something that is not you, you are only able to capture 7%. That's 7% of their awareness. So that makes 93% of curiosity, maybe distrust, maybe just open lacking. If your clients feel like they're missing something, they're most likely going to go with the contractor or the professional that is going to deliver as much as possible that's on their plate. If they only get an estimate from you or proposal via email or text, you're forcing them to take that proposal and put it next to the other two proposals they got that were emailed or text over, because that's what contractors do. The old world contractors, they do it that way. They look at it and they say, okay, which is the cheapest number? Because there's no way to differentiate company A from company B from company C. So let's just go with the lowest number because they're all equals in their mind. So think about it. If you're just emailing those proposals out, you are now at the lowest space for them in their mind. You are at the lowest value for them. Now, if what you just learned today is true, what if you were to decide, you know what, instead of me just emailing these proposals out, I'm actually going to have a phone call with them first and then send the proposal over. That's great. They can hear tonality, the vocal, and they can hear the words. So 38 and 7 still isn't 50%. Imagine if you were to take one step further, take a little bit longer, maybe serve a little fewer clients, but serve them better and deeper and more intentfully. Your closing rates will go up right away that way. But anyway, what if you jump on there and say, look, if I'm less than 50% effective, if I just use vocal and words, what if I stood in front of them, spoke to them, presented my proposal, my design? You are now working with the body language side. Be very aware of your body language. So 55%, you're in. Your vocal, you've thought about your vocal, you've listened to it, you've recorded yourself at sales presentations with your little iPhone in your pocket or a little recorder, just for your use of only, of course. But you can listen, because once you listen to yourself, what you actually do versus what you think you do and say during a meeting will shock you. So do that. Record it. Go back and listen to it. Cringe. Trust me, I've cringed many times in the very beginning when I started doing this. And then I was like, wait a minute here. There are so many things I need to work on to get to that point. But imagine 55%, you're in front of a client. So the body language is good. Your vocals are good. Tonality is good. You're good mid-range. You pause. You're very purposeful in your communication. You don't answer questions that weren't asked. You are a leader for your client. You're already way above. You're at 93% already. And now have the right words and the proposals. Man, you have such a higher probability of bringing that client around and guiding them. What the client wants is to do business with someone that they know, like, and trust. And you just can't do that if you're just emailing a proposal over, if you're just texting something over. So today, guys, I hope you've learned that the main objective here is to get in front of your clients, work on your eye contact, your confidence. Do you fidget? Is your head held back and your shoulders back as well? Are you there to serve? Do you talk more or listen more? Or are you just trying to spray and pray method where you're just shooting proposals out via email and text left and right and hope like hell that some of them actually turn into projects? That's one way to do it, but that is a hard way. And it's definitely a way you will never scale a business. It's the soft skills, ladies and gentlemen, the soft skills that we're talking about today that catapult you into another stratosphere. It's the things that are non-build related, that are human to human contact, that change the game forever. And the cool part about this, guys, this doesn't just work in business. This works in all relationships when you start understanding these things. And once you start seeing them, you can't unsee them. Once you learn them, they start becoming part of who you are. And this isn't about changing you and you're not good enough, so you need to change. It's about awareness. It's about becoming more aware of how you're presenting yourself. Are you showing up in dirty work clothes and a cut off jeans because that's what you did all day and you just squeaked in at 5 o'clock for that meeting you're supposed to meet at? And you get there and a client looks at you and says, man, where did you just come from the job site? You going in way overdressed and trying to show off that you're a designer or you're professional. Like what does that look like? What are your clients thinking? Is your eye contact good? Is your head held high, shoulders back? Are you confident? Is your tonality strong? Are you pausing? Do you have great wording? Do you have great descriptions within your proposals so that you can set expectations for your clients that they can line up with or not align with, so you can make adjustments when their proposals, not when the project is running full swing and your client throws you a curveball and says, I thought that this was included. I thought we had an extra 500 square feet over here. I thought the water feature was included. You mentioned it during your proposal, but it's not listed there. You mentioned it during the design, but it's not in the proposal. So they expected it, but you never put it in. You missed it. Now what happens? Are you taking the time? This is the stuff that great businesses focus on. This is the stuff that takes people from under $1 million to way over $1 million. This is the line where it happens. So today, guys, I hope you learned how to get better responses when sending proposals to your customers, and the fact that getting in front of them face-to-face or a Zoom is a great way to do it as well. If you want something live, get both decision makers, get them on a Zoom and go over your proposal, your design. That's a great way to do it if you don't want to drive everywhere. That's next in line. The third option, which a lot of you guys may not have ever heard of, there's a technology called Loom with an L, just like Zoom, but with an L, Loom. And what it does is you can voice over something that you're going over, a document, let's say it's your proposal. So you can send it to them as a file. It's very easy to share. They go through that when they have time, but they can see you. There's a little bubble in there, so they can see you talking, hear your tonality, see your words, all of that. That increases your closing rate immediately by stepping it up. Now, I know, guys, sometimes we're not, really well trained in presentation and we might stutter over words, but you know what? There's something so authentic about you being you. If your client's already considering you and they already consider going with your company, they've already gone through a meeting with you. Most likely they've met you already. They've already accepted you. They don't expect you to be a polished, professional that says everything perfectly. They don't expect that at all. What they expect and want is you to be real and to be the real you. That's really what they want. They don't want some show. If you're going up to the front door and pounding on the door to get in the house to have your meeting and your heart's racing out of your chest and you're completely out of your element, and you pound on the door and Mrs. Jones opens it up and you walk in and you're like, all right, it's showtime. I got to put on a big show for them. You're doing this all wrong. This is about connection. This is about building relationships. This is about knocking on that door and in your heart saying, God, please help me with the right words today that I can serve this client to the highest level, even if that means that I'm not the right fit for them. That means that I can put them on to the next person who can be. When you go in with that attitude, it changes everything. So my bigger goal for our industry in my lifetime is to see every one of you guys listening hit 75% or more on closing rate for your clients. You can spend more time with your family, grow a bigger business, and get out there and serve at a higher level. That's my bigger mission. That's why I'm doing all of this stuff. So guys, if you want to, what we have here each Wednesday morning at 9 a.m., I have a free Sales Made Simple workshop that we're going to be doing in order you guys bring whatever you're doing currently in your sales process. Even if you don't have a sales process or you do, bring those things in, different walls you keep hitting with your sales process. You keep clients, they ghost me at this point. As soon as I send that proposal, they ghost me. As soon as I get out there and do a design, they ghost me. As soon as I get all my work done, send it over to them, and they have to look at 3 other bidders, they ghost me. Like wherever it might be, maybe it's the phone call, maybe it's your lead quality. Those kinds of things that we're going to discuss and talk about. My goal is to help you through that process and help you streamline your sales process, whether it's very basic or whether it's very elaborate, so that we can get you to that 75% or higher. So guys, if that sounds good to you and you want to join us, it's free, costs you nothing. It's my gift back to the industry. Yeah, you can simply text sales to 55444, and then you'll get a link to come into the class on Wednesday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern. It's a Zoom call. And we're going to meet together, listen as a tribe, build a group that's going to go out there and be able to help our industry be more profitable, be more effective, and be more professional. Because you don't go to your doctor and question their prices. You don't go to your lawyer and question their prices. Why the heck do people come to contractors and constantly question their prices? And the answer is because we let them. Because there's no unity around the soft skills that those doctors and lawyers are taught in school. Most of us didn't go to school for this. Most of us got into business because we didn't want to work for somebody else, and we knew that we could be more effective and we could also make more money doing it on our own. So now's the time we can lean into those soft skills, because that's the bridge between under $1 million and well over $1 million. It's the soft skills, guys. So thanks for listening. Hope to see you in class.